Hello, Flosstube. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube update number 251. And in case you hadn't noticed, I'm not in my usual place. I'm at my sister Naomi's house. I'm house sitting her two cats while she's gone fishing up to the beginning of the Grand Canyon. It's above the Grand anyway. It's up there somewhere. But she's trying her hand at fly fishing. She was going to try to go earlier this summer, I guess, and the tour guy that was taking him out there wasn't doing it because of the weather conditions and everything else, and so it was suggested that she try to go now this week in October. So anyway, so that's where she is, and so I'm at her house and doing my update from there, and I'm a little bit whited out because of the sunlight and all that, but I think it'll work. So, oh goodness, I lost my needle. I flicked my notebook and the needle rolled down, and I think it was, yeah, it's right here. Anyway, so we're going to talk about cross stitch. So it is October 1st, which I consider October the best month of the year for a number of reasons. Let me run them down. The weather is usually nicer. Even here in Phoenix, where it's still in the high 90s, it's still very hot. It's cooler. It's not 120. It's not 115. So it looks like we're not going to hit 100, for a few days. So the weather's starting to turn. And actually, when I moved out here in 2015, I moved out in October, and the weather was it was hot, but it was not horribly hot. In Phoenix, that's an important distinction. Anyway, but in most of the country, in October, it's the leaves are starting to turn, the weather's starting to get cool, and so October is a very nice, moderate month. It's not too cold, not too hot, just right. Also, in Albuquerque, the first full weekend, I don't know if it's this weekend or next weekend, because, I don't know if they started this weekend, because Friday it was still September. So anyway, the first full weekend in October through the second full weekend, so the first Friday through the second Sunday, they do the Albuquerque International Hot Air Balloon Fiesta. And so international people come from all over the world with their hot air balloons, and they could be regular globe-shaped hot air balloons, or they can be special-shaped balloons. So they'll have like a cow. They have there's a big cow balloon. Balloons that look like little piggy banks. That look like there was a witch for a while there, and there was like a thing that looked like a rolled up newspaper, and just all kinds of shapes, special shapes, dog, puppies, whatever. It was a mother dog and puppies. There was made it as a balloon. Anyway, so the Balloon Fiesta runs that whole week. And there are things like there's mass ascensions where all the balloons go up like in waves, and there's the special shapes rodeo that what they call, and there are contests and all kinds of. It's a citywide full week of celebrations. All the restaurants are open at the crack of dawn because the balloons start to go up at first light, and so everybody has to eat breakfast before they go to the balloon fiesta. So all the restaurants around town are open at early in the morning. At any given moment, as you're driving around town, and hot air balloons are anywhere above you, and coming down on the when we lived on the west side of town, on the West Mesa, in Paradise Hills, and so there are always balloons landing out there in the mesa because of the way the winds blow around town. Anyway, it's a great time, and everybody, all the restaurants, all the hotels, all the stores, everybody, has balloon this and balloon that. It's fun. Also, in the month of October, there's Columbus Day, which is, I don't know, for some people, I guess it's controversial, but if nothing else, government employees, whatever, they get a federal holiday, so they get that Monday off. Also, October 9th is John Lennon's birthday. October 10th is my birthday, best day of the year, and so on and so forth. So and then at the end of the month, everybody gets candy. You get to dress up in a costume and you get candy. And a lot of times, in October, there's bowls of candy here and there because it's Halloween or whatever at the end of the month, and so there's the stores are putting the Halloween candy out in September or whatever, and so at the end of the month everybody gets candy, so it's a great month. Anyway, we're going to talk about cross stitching now. I was working primarily on my WIPGO project, and I thought I had brought the one WIPGO, the Ronnie Rowe ship Serenity with me, but I guess I didn't bring it. Like I said, I'm a little out of pocket, so I can't go get it. I do have the picture. So this is what I was working on, and I think last time I did it, I haven't added anything to it, so I was just working on this back. So anyway, there's that. I hit the 10-day goal for that. And my other WIPGO project for this month was this Running with the Wind tall ship. And instead of the gray cloth back here, I used a blue, the same blue that I used on my 4-ship projects. Make sure I got it right. So this now is my Running the Wind, and I did put quite a bit of. I hit the 10-day goal, and then I'm in the right in here, and I'm probably gonna spend part of today putting in finishing a couple of areas here and over here. But anyway, so I was working on just finishing off some of this white, and so I did these 3 sail blocks. And if you look down here, there's a little bit of white. Down here is where the body of the ship goes, and there's white in here, and like if you look, down here is with these waves and all that. There's blobs of white down there, and over here there's a cloud back here, so this is all white and blue, I think, or something like a pale blue. But anyway, so what I've been working on are these ships, these sails right here on this side of the middle, so not all the way over. I haven't gone all the way over yet, but this area, and then right in here, this gray, darker gray that you see here, that's part of what I was working on. So yeah, so this is the dark gray area here. And so these sails go across, across here, and then there's like a jib that goes right here. So I was doing the white of these sails here, and then so I had done these 3 blocks and these 2, and there's this gray color sort of outlines where the rest of the sail. So if you look at this, you can see that there's gray here, and then there's probably a little bit of the darker gray, in there as well. But so I did pull out the lighter gray, and I was working. I did some of this here, and I got to the end of the thread, and I got I was kind of bored, and so came over here and started, and I got to right here where it starts to go up, and I was where was I? Over here, yeah, over here, and I went in. I was doing it, and I thought, did I count that right? I think I counted that wrong, and so I stopped. I had about a couple inches of thread, so I pulled it off the needle and I just left it, stuck in there, and I put this darker gray. This part was already done some time ago, but so I was afraid I had made a mistake. So I thought, well, I think I could fix it. I might have to like stitch over an existing stitch or whatever, and then add some other stitches. But I thought I had not made enough rows here or something. And so I had put this darker thread on my needle, a long piece, and I thought, well, I can, add a couple of stitches and fix this, so that, because I was not going to pull it all out. But so I looked at it, and I realized I did not make a mistake. So, but I already had this darker gray on my needle. So I came over here and started this area. And so then I just like kept going and, worked on all of this here. So this is all this gray is complete over here. So there's several other colors here, but anyway, so then I went back and picked up that finished that thread off, and then did this part, and I think I had started down here originally before I made my way all the way over there, so that's why this is like half done, half crosses, yeah, because I came up here and went over there, and so now before I go back down here, I went ahead and went across and did this, and again I had done this part, and this little this shorter stitch right here, I had done it actually a row too low. And I had sort of miscalculated. Instead of being like one across from this row, I did it across from this row. So that was all one square too low. And I got up here, and I had already done this, and all of this vertical row, and all of these, and I came over here, and I'm like, it's all in the right place. It's not, in relation to this. And this was correct. And so I thought, well, I could, fudge it. I could fix it. I could, and I thought, I'm not going to, because I don't want to, I don't know when I'm going to get back to this. And I don't want to leave it and then like try to figure out, why is this not the way it's supposed to be, however long from now. So I pulled it all out and I fixed it. And so now it's correct, but I want to get to, I want to finish this section, all of this gray here, before I put it away for indefinite time. So I'll probably continue to work on that today, even though it's October, but I did meet my 10-day goal. So this is done. Running with the Wind. You know, and the good thing about WIPGO is that not only have I been able to, like, you know, I finished that that baby sample that I started 25 years ago. I finished it, though, this year. I finished it. And so it's off my list to make room for all the other things that are on my list now. But the nice thing about WIPGO is that it is, you know, has given me my mojo back. So for something like this, you know, and actually for the ship Serenity too, it gets me like enthusiastic again about, you know, like now, at first when I was doing just the white, it felt like a bit of a slog. But then once I started doing these other, you know, the other grays, just to, you know, some variety in there, I thought, you know, yeah, I really like this. I want to finish it. I want to do some more. And like when I was doing this out here, underneath here on the design, there's a couple of people, you know, like just little figures right here. These two guys. And there's also the little, what do you call it, figurehead on the ship, you know. But see, this right here that I was doing, right underneath it is where these two guys are. And if I had the DMC threads, I could have, you know, at least put in the guys, you know, and you know, because I thought, oh, that would have been fun, you know. But yeah, so I'm sort of, you know, getting my mojo back for these projects. And it's good because it you know, it sort of reminds you of why you wanted to do it in the first place, why you were drawn to that pattern in the first place. But anyway, so my WIPGO project for October, the numbers were called, and I let me put this over here. Sorry, do that in a second. So the numbers were 1 and 6, I believe. And, so I don't remember which one is which right off the top of my head. I have it written down. But, so the project that were called were, Beneath the Bough and this Christmas, towel. So I'm going to do the towel first. So this is an adaptation that I designed. I did an adaptation. I can't talk. To do this little Christmas towel from a Leisure Arts magazine. It was a Leisure Arts Christmas, like Christmas. I don't know if they were. I think they were all towels. Towels or ornaments, towels, I think. So there was one that was a reindeer like this in a scarf and a little hat, and he was pulling a sled with gifts or something on it. And then another design was this Santa and a sled. And I don't remember if the sled that Santa was pulling was exactly like this or if it was slightly different. But anyway, so for this towel, I did 9 reindeer, right? This one is, I am anticipating giving a red nose or some kind to make it look like Rudolph, and the 8 tiny reindeer, and then Santa pulling the sleigh. And I didn't put it in here when I did the design, but I think I'm going to try to, like, maybe I'll use a gold cording or etoile or something to connect all the reindeer, you know, give them reins and connect them to Santa. I don't know. That's sort of like in my head. But my goal for this, for WIPGO, is to finish it. And I had forgotten that I had not done any of the Santa yet. I just did the reindeer. And I didn't even finish them. But you know, so this is where I am. So as you can see, there's no Santa yet, but these two reindeer. This reindeer has this butt already done, and this one I'm in the middle of doing. So I have this thread connected here, on the back of this. So I want to, so this one needs his face and his rear end finished, and all of them need that. And then the problem is this is on Ada cloth, and these were designed for Ada, for these Ada towels with this little Ada insert in it. But there's all these half stitches, because it's half of they're all in these little, I don't know if you can see, but they're it's just all these little, where this triangle meets this triangle, and so there's a lot of poking through the Ada to get this. So it's a very fussily and very kind of tiny, but so I'm hoping that on most of these I put my goal as 10 days, and so if I have 2 projects, that's 10 days on this one and 10 days on that one, I can be fairly monogamous, and so I've just used up 20 days, and I have 10 other days to do whatever. But with this one, since my goal is to finish it, I'm hoping that maybe later today I can stitch on that and start going pretty quickly, because I'm probably going to need all month to finish it, because I don't know what's going to come up between now and then, and what all I'm going to have to do besides that, spending that, and speaking of other things I have to do, my other WIPGO goal is to finish also. I want to finish this, and this is actually only half of the design. There's not a picture of the back side of this design, but it's a scissor fob actually, and I may or may not finish it as a scissor fob. I may finish it as something else, but anyway, this is the one side, and the other side I think also has an acorn or something, but it has like initials on it. So you can, on one side you can have the cat, and on the other side you can have your initials. And I think there's like a similar acorn, and maybe even a branch like this. I have the pattern somewhere, but there's not another picture. There's not a picture that shows the backside of it. So anyway, so I had started the one side, the front side. So this is the bough, beneath the bough. So the cat goes over here, and there's the leaves or all that. And so there are specialty stitches, I think, yeah. The acorn cap is satin stitches, and the acorn itself is Smyrna crosses. And then the kitty is, I think, just regular crosses, and then the kitty's eyes are Smyrna crosses, and then long stitches for the whiskers. And I don't remember if the leaves are all just regular. I think they're just regular X's. I don't know. It's been a while since I've worked on this. But so my goal is to finish it. So I'm hoping, and it's all one thread over 2. And so, and it was a little kit. So it came with the pieces of linen, and the threads and everything. So that's my other goal. I'm hoping I can get that finished. So then, the other thing I've been working on is, as part of Sampler September, but also for cross stitch camp, because with cross stitch camp, we've been given the from September to December, with anticipation of, with the idea that most people are working on a larger sampler. But of course, like I said this last week, I'm doing the bunny sampler. This bunny sampler by Chessie and me. I think this is also Chessie and me. This little kitty. It's a Chessie and me kit. But this one was not a kit. This is the one that has all the over one and all that stuff in it. So this is where I am now. So let me get this behind it here. So it looks very nice. There's a big old cat hair on here. Sorry. Okay. So this is Peapod, and this is just the outline of the hill. You put your initials and that heart in here, and then it's all filled in otherwise with the green. And so this is the adaptation that I made of is Peapod instead of the called for avocado. And then this branch and leaves is in the DMC color, like 3051, I think. And it worked out kind of nice that this leaf ended right in the center of this little, these flowers are like kind of painted on, printed on the fabric, and they're not on the back side of it. But so, you can see, like when you put in a needle through it, they're painted on the outside, or printed or whatever, ink. So, but this one came out right in the middle of this flower. But so the alphabet is done except for the X, the Y, and Z, which are right in the middle. So you're not able to count. I mean, it's very far to count on them without having done everything else first. So once I finish this, when we get further on this branch, then I'll have something to count the Y and Z from, and then of course the bunny. What goes right here. This big bunny goes over on top of the hill. So the Y and Z are right there in the middle. So I want to finish, more of this branch here before, just so I am not try to put that out in the middle of nowhere. So it's coming along very nicely. And like I said, I want to finish this branch so that I can finish the alphabet, and tackle that scary briar rose. But yeah, so it's coming along very nicely. And like I said, I was kind of looking at people's posts on Instagram of what they're working on for the cross stitch camp sampler thing, and like I said, I haven't gone back to find Sherry Berger's comments about the parameters of participating in what she suggested or asked people to do for camp, for the camp aspect of working on samplers. But I gather from people's posts that it has to do with changes and or personalization or something like that. And so people are saying, well, what I changed was this color or that color, or things in the alphabet or something like that. So actually I've made a change, and I've changed this color instead of the other color that was called for. And then I'm going to put my initials, on this design. There's the designer's initials are on here, and so I think I'm gonna put my own initials on here as part of that. So but so this is the bunny sampler by Chessie and me. So it's coming along very nicely. And then the rabbit designs. So I did a little bit more on the September rabbit, which is getting blown out with the sunlight behind it. So, oopsie. Yeah, you can see a little better. So I just did this there's a cat here, sorry. There we go. So I did a little more. I did this evergreen branch kind of thing is finished, and I think, yeah, this is also, so a flower goes right here, and then another evergreen branch, and one goes here behind this bunny's ears, and then a flower, and another branch here, I think, behind this bunny's ears. Yeah. Yeah. So this one, I'm. It's not as far as close to being finished as I had anticipated, but it's better. So I worked on it a little bit. So this was the September rabbit. It's this one here. Oops, upside down. Yeah, September rabbit. So yeah, I have this evergreen green branch, and this flower and branch, and this flower, and then there's some yellow little dots, on the flower, and in this little middle thing, there's these okay, so anyway, so it's mostly done. That's September. And so the October one, this is October. And the October rabbit. And my idea is to do it on this color. I did a floss toss. This is the Merino Carré, Hobby Lobby Merino Carré, and this one is called Rust. It's 32 count, like all the other ones. I'm doing them all on this Merino Carré, the different colors. They have Spa, Ice. I think a Spa is the blue color, a light blue. Ice is a off-white. Pink Splash is, I don't know, maybe this is Ice. This is Ice. So this has April, and yeah, this is Ice, and this is September on there. There's a couple of gingham like colors. There's one that's gray and one that's taupe, and they have the little gingham squares on them. And there's this that is Fleur. This is one of those Merino Carré colors. And so anyway, there's one called Pink Splash. That's basically a white with a little very faint pink dots on it. I've used that one also. But so, and there's one called Mustard that I did the May rabbit on. I didn't finish it, but I just started it. So anyway, this one is called Rust, and I've struggled with doing one of these rabbits on there because, it's really hard to get a color that'll colors that'll work on this. But I think these colors will work with this fabric. There are a couple of them that the colors that are very close to this fabric color, or will not stand out enough. I don't know. I think the bunnies themselves are one of the questionable colors, and so fortunately they're right in the corner, and I anticipate doing a corner corner start on this fabric. So we'll see how the bunnies look, and if they don't stand out enough, I'll either change the fabric or change the thread. So I have not changed any of the threads on any of these so far, but I've used all the different Merino Carré colors except this one. And so we'll see if that works. But that's my October Rabbit, which I hope to start. Maybe I'll start it today. I don't know. So then that's what I plan on stitching for sure this month. And the other things, my sister got called. Excuse me just a second. Sorry. My sister got a call yesterday that there's a couple of patterns that she had ordered at the attic, and one of them had come in. So we went to go pick that up. That was fun, kind of a fun little outing, a fun, expensive little outing. Not real expensive, but just, money that, I shouldn't be spending just because. But, why not? So, while we were there, I got a couple patterns just because. And so I went ahead and got some threads to go with them. And, yeah. So these are a bunch of Classic Colorworks threads for a couple of these patterns. This one is Pickled Beets. Rainy Day. Yeah, that's purple. This is Tennessee Red Clay. I might have this one at home. I don't know. Mossy. Let's think of. There's the movie You've Got Mail, and one of the characters at one point says, "Makes my apartment smell mossy." This is Honeycomb and Chesapeake Bay, and I think I might have this one already, but I don't know. And then a couple of weeks colors, Pebble and Conch. This is Pebble, this is Conch. I don't know if I have Conch already, I don't know. But I went ahead and got them because why not? And so one of the things I bought was the number 10 in the Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods. This is number 10, the Little Brown Bat. There's the little bat. We get glare on here, so I don't want to take it out. There's a bat there. And his little wings. And there's some autumn leaves and a cabin there. And his little claws. Yeah. Little brown bat. One of the last times we were in Albuquerque, a little vacation, we went down to Carlsbad Caverns, and I guess we had gone camping like first half of the week, and then we went down to Carlsbad, and I hadn't been to Carlsbad Caverns since probably since we went with my uncle, my aunt and uncle, and my two cousins from Galveston. I don't know if my cousin Judy went with us because she might have been older by that time. She might have been in college or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, we went down to Carlsbad. But so it's been many years since I've been down there, and so we went with my younger sister's kids. They hadn't been there and all that, so it was a lot of fun. And, you know, you can go in the evening and see the bats, you know, fly out of the cave in the evening because they go and, you know, they're looking for insects and all that. So there's, you know, there's the bats and that live in the cave. And then you can also go in the cave like during the day and, you know, see the caverns and all that. And one of the things they have you do is you can sponsor a bat, right? So I sponsored a bat. So I have a little pet bat there in Carlsbad, and I bought a little stuffed bat. So it's among my stuffies. So this little bat. So yeah, little brown bat. And another thing I bought was this Biscornu. This is it's called the Seahorse Soiree Biscornu. It's a heartstring samplery. But it's so cute. It's basically under the sea pattern. There's fish and the sea turtle, and it looks like a whale. And I imagine there's this, yeah, there's a seahorse. There's seahorses in there. Here they are. There's a whale. Yeah, see this spout. And the fish. And I guess that's an octopus. Yeah. So it's really cute. Oh, so cute. And then this ink circle, I was looking at the ink circle things, and this one is called Mantis Life. And it says, eat, pray, love. And this little mantis. So cute. Oh, so cute. Yeah, it's comes from DMC and Classic Color Works. That's what the rainy day pickled beets and honeycomb threads are for, along with there's some DMC colors. So yeah, I thought that was cute, and it's only 92 by 64, so it's not real huge. But yeah. So anyway, that was my haul, and so I updated my WIPGO calendar. If I can get it, I can grab it. It's right here, but I can't put my hands on it. Oh, and you know, last week I talked about the Mousecapades. I went to the Luminous Fiber Arts thing. This is the border, and this is the suggested layout, right? So you have the 6 little squares, and then the 7th one is the longer design, the bigger design. And in looking at her website, that 7th one I think has not been released yet. That's why I couldn't find it. I think she has not released it yet. And so, yeah, you can use Fancy Floss or DMC. There's a DMC alternative or whatever. So for this border, so if you decide, you know, I went ahead and downloaded it because I'm not sure how I'm going to finish it. If I'm going to do do them all in one thing or individually or whatever, I don't know. Because this one is, you know, like I said, it's slightly it's longer. It's just, you know, so if I did them as individual pulls, you know, I'd have one long one, and that's fine. But anyway, I downloaded this thing. But like I said, the reason I couldn't find the 7th one is I don't think it's been released yet. So this is what my WIPGO board is looking at like now. These were the 2 that were in February, so where I did not quite meet my 10-day goal. I did 8 days. So I don't know if that would count as a bingo or not, because I didn't, like, you know, I would have one across here, but I didn't quite finish the Voyage of Discovery, and and I would have one here, but I didn't quite finish the Peacock. I didn't do the 10 days on the Peacock. I missed the goal, but these are the two that were called number 1 and number 6. Number 1 is the Christmas towel, and number 6 is Beneath the Bough. Yeah, but all the others, I did meet the goal for Running the Wind and Ship Serenity. Yeah. So there's just 2 more left. The Gray Wolf, that's it's very, very complicated. It's very pixelated, and yeah, Daily Walk in the Woods, Santa's House. Santa's House was a mystery sampler, and I only did a little bit of the, maybe the first couple of weeks or whatever, I don't remember. But yeah, and On the Balcony is one that my sister's gonna kill me if I don't get it done. It was one that it's a picture of my my cats. One of my favorite pictures that I ever took of my 2 cats, Puck and Snug. It was an evening, and they were sitting on the balcony, or one of them was on the balcony and one of them was on the table kind of near the balcony, and it's just a really pretty picture. It was an evening there in Little Rock, and I had the door open. It was really nice weather, so yeah, it's a very pretty picture. You'll see it soon enough when it comes up as my WIPGO project. Anyway, I think that's about it. I have my work cut out for me in October for those to try to finish those 2 projects, as well as doing the October Rabbit, working more on the sampler, September bunny sampler, and I want to get the Ship Serenity and Running the Wind, get them to a good a good place to set, because like I said, I don't know when I'll work on them next, so I want to get them to a good stopping place. But I'm looking forward to my October projects, and hoping that I can make some good progress, and maybe hopefully some of these new patterns that I just bought. But the Nativity Berry, I want to get started on, because I wanted to work on it before Christmas comes along. And it's already October, so maybe I'll add that to my October pile. I don't know. Anyway, so I think that's it. So yay for October. For people in the Hurricane Ian's path, just know that we're praying for you. We're hoping for the best. I know that people that I know, my friend Jan, my friend Bobby, my friend Kevin, have marked themselves safe in Florida, and they Jan lives lives on the Atlantic coast, and Kevin lives on the Gulf Coast, kind of in the Tampa area, and Jan lives in the Cocoa area, and I'm not sure exactly where Bobby lives in Florida. She's probably told me, but I don't remember. Anyway, so they were right in, especially Kevin especially, I think, was right smack in the middle of it, in the Tampa area. Praying for the best for those people, for all the people affected by it, and as it's making its way up the coast, I know it's affecting a lot of people in that area too. We were thinking about, my niece is in Boston, and, I don't know what effects it's going to have, as far up as she is or whatever. So, if nothing else, probably a lot of rain and all that. So anyway, all the people on the East Coast, we feel for you and praying for you, and hoping for the best for everybody in being affected by that. So anyway, I will hopefully see you all next week. I got a call from the surgery center about scheduling my hand surgery, and it looks like if I go through with it, it'll be on the 13th, and I'm still debating whether or not I want to, because I was having a lot of trouble with it when I had talked about it before, and when I'd gone for the initial consultation, and then when I went back after I had the MRI, went back for a second consultation, it seemed to have gone down a little bit, wasn't as painful, but I'm kind of having a little more discomfort. It's one of those things that, it's not really, really urgent. And I don't know how much of it the insurance will pay for or whatever. So I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to go through with it. Right now, it's like I said, I'm hoping to. The nurse called the other day or the scheduler or whatever called the other day, yesterday, the day before, yesterday, I guess, about, I can schedule on the 10th, and I'm like, that's my birthday. I kind of don't want to have surgery on my birthday, so I'm hoping for the 13th, because I told her, I had set aside the 13th as the day we had talked about that, and so she was gonna, see if she could schedule me for the 13th, and she was supposed to call me back, and that was Friday, yesterday, and she never called me back by 5 o'clock, and so I don't know yet. So we'll see. But anyway, so I hope that even if I do decide to go ahead and have the surgery, that it won't interfere too much with my ability to stitch. It might, though, because if I usually hold the hoop in my left hand and stitch on my right hand, and so I don't know. I don't anticipate a whole lot of trouble, but I have rehearsal, orchestra rehearsal on Tuesdays, and so we have a concert this Tuesday, the 4th, and then so the following Tuesday, the 9th, would be I think it's the 9th, or whatever that date is. I'd have rehearsal, and then the 13th I would have the surgery. So maybe it's I don't know whatever the date is, but 11th, I guess, maybe, is Tuesday. I don't know. That would be our first rehearsal after the concert. And anyway, it's very complicated. So if I could have it on the 13th, then I'd be more able to participate in the rehearsals. It wouldn't affect the rehearsals as much if I have the surgery on the 13th, and so I'm hoping that all comes together if I decide to go ahead and go through with it and have the surgery. So that's what that looks like. Anyway, so by next Saturday, I should know better whether I'm gonna go through with it or whatever, and also just what I'm working on by then. So I will see you next time. Next week I'll be at home again. And thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.